Hello again. I am back. This is 2 days later for you, but it's like 8 hours for me. So I'm filming this later in the day, the same day that I filmed my Wednesday video, which was trying a lot of the e.l.f. new putty bronzers, these little guys here, along with some putty blushes, which I have known and loved. There's another one of the putty bronzers. So I have a video with, I think, like 99% e.l.f. product, maybe 95% e.l.f. products that I posted a couple days ago. And this is, I should be studying right now. I'm procrastinating. But I promised you guys I would come back and do 2, maybe 3 looks, evening looks or fun looks, something not work related with this Morphe 35D Desert Bouquet palette. Looks like this. And I love this palette. It was in one of my videos of palettes that I'm playing with right now, and I thought I would do something a little bit more interesting than the, my blush is a little bold right now. Something a little more interesting than what I did for work when I was really trying to focus on the putty bronzers and stuff. By the way, update on the putty bronzers, I really did enjoy them. They really did hold up well. I didn't go outside, so it was like 104 today. I didn't go outside in the heat. But maybe for just a second. The only reason why I even kind of touched it up a little bit is I found myself doing this a lot today and scratching at my face, and I had to take my eyeshadow off anyway because I was going to do eyeshadow. So I kind of touched up just a little bit. I'm not disappointed. I'm not disappointed with the putty bronzers at all. I will absolutely use them. I did place my order for Jaclyn Hill's putty bronzers. I think I got 2 of those, 2 of her lip oils, 1 of her putty highlighters. I think that's it. Of her summer, hot summer, or summer, hot tropic, summer launch, whatever it is. I know there's a lot of comments on inclusivity and things like that. As I mentioned with the putty bronzers, they launched like 8 shades, but I think that their range seemed like it was maybe a little bit broader. We'll see. Well, maybe we'll compare them to these and see how they do. Maybe the e.l.f. ones are better. I don't know. I love cream products. Okay, guys, I'm gonna zoom you in. I'm gonna zoom you in. Let's play some color. A little bit closer, a little bit easier to see. I really, really, really want to get into this yellow right here. Scared to death of yellow, you guys. Yellow is like psycho crazy color for me. So, and I didn't put any eyelid primer on. I should do that, huh? I'm gonna do one eye with eyelid primer. We'll see if that makes a difference. I've gone in 3 times now to pick up a little bit of product. This is not the softest brush. This is a Morphe N573. Okay, so I've got a Wet n Wild eyeshadow primer. I don't know that this is the right one to use because I feel like this one is a little too creamy and emollient and not the same opaque and tackiness. Maybe it's just separated a little bit. Maybe the oiliness feels... It's harder to see. It's not like the Juvia's Place eyelid primer. I've been using that quite a bit lately, and every time I open it up and try to squirt some out, I go, oh, and then I'm sitting there squeezing it to try to get it mixed up a little bit because it has separated. I don't know. I don't know if people are complaining about that or not. Okay, I need to grab a different brush because I just set the one that I was using in this micellar water that I used to put my eyelids up. Okay, so this one is, this is a Sigma brush. This is going to be a much better brush. It's smaller. And yeah, and off the bat, it seemed like it's slightly darker. Yeah, it does. It seems like it's slightly darker. Do you guys do single shades all over your lid? I find myself really drawn to them, the simplicity of it and the ease of it. And then when I actually have some time to sit down and do my makeup, I'm like, oh, I need to play. I like this shade. I think someone with mature hooded eyes, I think you end up getting really hood heavy if you don't define a crease a little bit more. So I'm going to go into this kind of more of an orangey shade. The first one was called All Sun. The second one is called Yes I Canyon, or yeah. But I'm going to use that because it is still kind of like the same family of colors. But hopefully it'll give me a little bit more depth and kind of reseed that hood just a little bit. So I'm trying to get it to reseed that hood a little bit without giving up the yellow. These are just not colors I wear on an everyday basis. Frankly, I just wanted to try something different. I wanted to see, can I get away with wearing these colors? I need a lighter shade. I'm gonna go in with this one. Now these 3 that I've used are all matte, so I'm just gonna grab this one right down here which is like a pale, pale yellow called High Noon. And now I'm going to go into the shimmer right above it. I know it seems like it's staying in this row because I am. They do such a good job of curating these rows into cohesive looks that you don't need to think. You don't need to bounce around. I got a little liquid eyeliner earlier. Give me a second. I'm going to zoom this on really fast and then I'll be back with some mascara and eyeliner. Okay, you guys, back with it's a little bit of almost like a graphic eyeliner. I use the House Laboratory Black Liquid Liner. I think this is my favorite. I also did put a little bit of the LA Girl Volumatic Mascara on. You know, I did an LA Girl sort of try on and I was pleasantly surprised. Okay, so, but I need like this darker kind of corally orange color down here on my lower lash. So pick up a little bit of that. What color is that called? Temp Check. Are we still doing temp checks? And I'm just doing this a little bit down here. I found that I've really enjoyed lighter colors down below my lower lash line because they're less harsh. They give you kind of that cohesion, but you're not losing your eye size with the heavier eyeliner or darker eyeliner. I think you don't even really notice that kind of corally color because you see the yellow. I think it's okay. I almost want to go a little darker with the second one that I used, which again is kind of more of a, it's almost more of an orange, but I'm using it to just kind of deepen up that yellow without going to brown. Like my first instinct would have been to reach into the brown. It's a fun color. The black, kind of almost like a graphic eyeliner, worked. I did do something I don't normally do, which is kind of cut the eyeliner off at my lashes, at the end of my lashes. I think it gives you more of a rounded eye look. I wouldn't necessarily have gravitated towards this or chosen this to leave the house in, but now that I see it on, it's like, okay, with the right environment or something, it's not so crazy bold that you go, who does she think she is? Who does she have in her eyes? I don't think I'd embarrass my family if I had this eyeshadow on. So that's technically look number 2 because I did a work one, but look number 1 of kind of exploring color a little bit. Let's take this off. I've got some purples, I've got some greens, and I've got some kind of warmer browns that I haven't touched into yet. Let's do 2 more looks. Let's do one on each eye for fun. So I'll be right back. Back, cleaned up a little bit. I did use this lightest shade in this corner right here just to kind of set down any moisture that was on my eyelids. I didn't go back in with any kind of eyelid primer. It's a little crazy right now. I feel like a cartoon character with the big, or a 1950s with the white eyelids and then the really high drawn on. I didn't do anything with my eyebrows today. I know you guys are fascinated by that. Okay, so I need to do something with the greens. We're doing these greens over here. And I'm just using the same brush that I used with that very first shade called Light Linen. So I'm grabbing the mid-tone matte green called Sweet Sage. I think it's almost like a martini olive green. Not really avocado green, maybe avocado green. I wanted to see if I put it down on a powder base, like with that first shade, if it would buff out, sheer out, not be patchy. And I normally don't have a huge problem with Morphe eyeshadows. I actually do like the quality of them. Which reminds me, if there are any older Morphe palettes that you're just not sure if you need to keep them or declutter them or you want to use them, let me know. If they're ones that I have, we can put our heads together and come up with a use for them. Maybe do 3 or 4 looks with them and see, oh, you know what? I was going to do 2 different looks, one with each eye. And here I am just babbling away, losing track of what I'm doing. Sorry. Going into the darkest shade in here, kind of like forest green maybe. It's called Suck on that, but I think it's supposed to be like succulent. And I've got a much smaller brush, so I'm kind of keeping the darkest pigment down here. And then I'll just continue to buff it up a little bit and drag it down below. Do you guys like these monochromatic looks, or am I just off base and out of touch with reality? I'm gonna grab this kind of almost like a lime green shimmer right in the middle. It's called Big Saguaro. I'm not sure, it sounds like a Spanish term that I'm not familiar with. I also grabbed the wrong finger to do this with. Actually, that's actually kind of working out because that's a little bit smaller than the finger that I would normally use. to apply shimmer eyeshadows. Maybe I need to switch up my tools of the trade. 3 shades. Oops, turn the brush around. 3 shades. And I love this. I would absolutely wear this out of the house. If I were doing a monochromatic look, this would be the one to do. So I'm going to put on some mascara. This time I'm going to try the Fenty because I just want to see if it makes a difference, and I'll be right back. This Fenty mascara, I think, is on its last leg. I think I've had it too long. It's been open for too long. I don't think there's very much product left in it. I think it's time. It's time for me to say goodbye. I'll add it to my trash and we'll do some reviews on it. Okay, so I have this look on, but I'm gonna grab, I think I need to grab a little bit more of the darker green just out here. And I think with these kind of smoky looks, I get away with not really needing eyeliner because I feel like the shadow's doing it. And I get that, the shape I want without having to go in with the crazy eyeliner too. I would leave the house with this eyeshadow on, this green. Absolutely. Look number 2 down. I need to try something that's not monochromatic. I've done yellow, I've done cool tone browns, I've done green. I need to do some contrasting colors. Are you excited? Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, you guys, back cleaned up. I did put a little bit of the Thrive Cosmetics 360 degree eye lift. I really am, because I want to do something completely different. I don't know, I love this orange shimmer down here, but I'm intrigued by this kind of burgundy marbled looking thing. I think I want to do, I need to use this fuchsia or that one. No, that one. It's the craziest color. So I'm going to start with that. Let's go bold. And I'll put it down close to my eyelid. You know, the mattes in here do have some kick up. So just be prepared for that. Like if you are at all concerned or you don't tap off your brush first, you might want to do your eyeshadow first and then everything else. You guys know this, right? Like, I'm not saying anything you don't already know. If you don't know, I'm not a makeup artist. I'm not even a professional YouTuber. I'm just here because I have an obsession with makeup. I love makeup. I love, love, love makeup. I love playing with makeup. And I didn't until just recently. I just never made the time. I think women, you know, maybe everybody does. I can't speak for men, but I think with women, we need to be creative. You know what? I'm going to take that back. I can speak for my husband too. He needs to be creative. My son has different creativity. My daughter has different creativity. But I think it's important that everybody be creative. My brain tends to be a little bit more on the rational, logical side, more than anything, a little bit more scientific. You would know that if you're only here because of the makeup. Okay, I took that all the way from my lash line all the way up above my crease. And that's a different look. And I'm not upset by it, but I'm not going to leave it like this because that would be silly. I have so many other colors in here to play with. I'm going to do that orange. That shimmery orange color that I was drawn to. I'm just going to pick it up on a flat brush here. I think this is a Sigma. No, it's another Morphe brush. I didn't mean to use all Morphe brushes. It just happens to be what was clean and on my table when I sat down to start filming. And I'm just bringing that shimmer from my tear duct up. I want to say the first quarter of my eyelid. I feel already like this is something that would be too much to do on a regular basis, but to play and do something fun and differently, maybe for date night, maybe just for hanging out with the girls, I don't know. I'm gonna grab this, which one? This warmer brown here. It's almost like a chestnut brown. I guess I should tell you the color. So the first one I used was called Cactus Fruit. The second one was called Cacti Love You. And this third one that's kind of chestnutty brown is called Hottest Ever. And we're gonna use that out here. This feels to me a little bit like one of those makeup challenges where you do like 3 stripes and then you blend it all together and it ends up looking okay. You guys seen that? I'm not really on TikTok. I mean, I have a TikTok account and I spent one day like on the TikTok rabbit hole, but it's not really a platform I'm comfortable creating content for yet. Part of it is because I just had to learn a piece of software, content tech creator software for work, which is not something I use for this channel. There were some things that I was like, oh, that's really cool. And then other things I was like, I wanted to do what I use here and they don't do it. And then I was frustrated because I wanted to use this other stuff, but that's all part of like learning a different piece of software. They're not blended together, but I almost don't want them to be blended together because I think this is that look that you're going for, that is, you're challenging the eye a little bit. Like I'm intentionally leaving those like that, but I do need to kind of blend in this top edge a little bit. I'm basically just taking that shimmer that I put in and I'm dragging it high, kind of at the top of all those other, the fuchsia and that chestnut color. It's different. Oh man, I feel like this one's got a little patchy on me here. And then I need a softer shade up above that, kind of buff that out a little bit. So I'm gonna take this shade right here, this crazy lilac color called Phoenix Flora. My even ever higher transition shade up here, just kind of peeking out. Sometimes these work, sometimes not so much. But I wanted to do jarring colors. I wanted to do something that was going to be not the simple monochromatic look. And it's still simple. I mean, I'm not a makeup artist. I mentioned that before. Okay, that actually worked out pretty well. You don't really even notice it. It just kind of softened out that top edge so that it's not so crazy. Where did that brush go? This one? I'm going to grab this kind of this, I don't know what I call this. It's almost like a rosé color. I should almost grab that lime green to be really different. I'm going to put a little bit of this right in the center. That kind of little rosé color that I just put on there. What color is that really? It's called Sundress Season. I actually like that. I feel like I got a little chunk of it though right there. Okay, I like that. There are so many shades in here that I just want to do as kind of like a one all over the lid, kind of like I did with the yellow. And then, you know, you smoke it out with something just a shade or two darker, or one of these matte browns, and you're done. And I think this palette, you get so much of that in here. Like each one of these rows has, you know, 1 to 3 different shimmers in it. Like this one has 2, this one has 1, this one has 3, this one has 1, no, this one has 2. This one has 1. That one has that weird marble color. This one has 2. There's bronzes, there's pinks, there's corals, there's yellows, there's greens. There is so much goodness in this palette, you guys. I need to use this weird marbled shade in here called Agave My Heart. That's going to be right up against my lash line. It's like a burgundy, but I can't tell if it's a different, I mean, it's obviously a different formula, but I don't know if it's like a cream to powder formula or what it is. It feels like a different texture. Let me change my battery. Let me put some mascara on. We'll come back and we'll assess the situation. Be right back. Okay, you guys, I'm back with a little bit of mascara. I did take a Morphe eyeliner in the shade All Night, I believe. Where'd it go? This one right here. It's kind of a plummy, purpley kind of color. So I did a little bit of kind of smoking up that lash line. I also did a little bit on my inner waterline, which I don't normally do because I do think it makes my eyes look a little smaller, but it is something that I would do for date night. I might do something like this. The combination of that, hi Zeus, the combination of the fuchsia with the oranges, the warm color, I think is unexpected. I think I wouldn't have normally done that unless I was sitting here playing and experimenting and just saying, and now that I've got it on, now that I have it on, I'm like, okay, wait, there's so much in here. I think that the formula is very consistent. It's very typical standard Morphe formula, which is not a bad formula at all. It's completely usable. These are big palettes. If you don't have storage, this might not be for you. If you're taking them to travel, this might not be for you because it's so big. I mean, it's got like a magnetic closure. Like if you look at this, it kind of like sticks together. It's got a magnetic closure, but it doesn't actually have like a clasp. I do really like this palette. I think if you're someone who you get one palette every 6 months, this is a great spring, summer, fall palette. Maybe even winter. I mean, heck, if you don't like blues or teals, this is a good palette. Okay, you guys, that's it. That is several looks using this Morphe 35D Desert Bouquet palette. Let me know, are there other big palettes you want to see, Morphe palettes? Other palettes that you just had your eye on, maybe that they're older, that you've had in your collection for a while and you're trying to decide whether or not you want to keep them, if they're still fun to play with. this is my creative outlet. I have a lot of stress, a lot of things on. Like you do, you probably have a lot of things going on. So I appreciate you taking some time out, hanging out with me. Go ahead and subscribe if you're not already. Give it a thumbs up if you're feeling generous. And wish you nothing but love and happiness. And until I see you in my next video, bye for now.